Not Nani's newspaper. Nani's newspaper. Focus question. What type of skills does a newspaper editor need? Monday, Monday 10 a.m. Who wants to be editor of the Wheatmore Weekly? Mr. Mann asked. On either side of me, Miguel and Ashley shot their hands up. Not me, I didn't know the first thing about being an editor. Okay, Mr. Mann said. You guys can work it out. You can set up your office after school in the multi-purpose room. The principal Sykes will give the key. We'll print on Thursday afternoon. Without any further explanation, he turned and walked out of the room. What should we write about? I asked. Neither Miguel or Ashley answered me. They were too busy making nameplates that read editor and chef, said head editor. And head editor. Monday, 2:30 p.m. The newspaper has to be written by Thursday, and we have no copy. I told my friend Jimmy, can you be our sports reporter? But I'm the least athletic kid at Wheatmore, Jimmy said. I get wind walking up the stairs. I winked at Jimmy. You don't have to play sports to write about sports. You just have to like sports. Which you do. You can write about tonight's basketball game against Deerfield. I left Jimmy to ponder that and went to meet Ashley and Miguel by Perry's cage. Perry is the big old red parrot, also our school mascot. He looked at me, cackled, and said, "Bye-bye," while Miguel and Ashley argued over who should be editor. I went and got the room key from the principal. Fine, Miguel said at last. For the sake of the paper, let's make a manager. Cocoa, Cocoa, Perry squawked. Yum! Fine, Ashley said, but I get the bigger desk. In the multi-purpose room, Ashley hunched over a huge desk and worked on a column about dental hygiene called Wheatmore Tooth Tips. Miguel grabbed a piece of paper and plopped down at the only other desk in the room. I'm writing a top 5 video games list, he said. We need to write about things kids care about, I said. Trust me, Nani, Miguel said. I know that people want to read. That's why I should be listed as the first commentator in the paper. I should be listed first, alphabetically, Ashley said. Since A comes before M. While they bickered, I said a list of all the sections of our paper. I tried to remember everything I've seen in the newspapers lying around my house. Tuesday, 7:45 a.m. Jimmy handed me his article about last night's basketball game, and it was fantastic. Jimmy's Sports Corner. Whitmore beats Deerfield in overtime. We were down 2 points with 10 seconds to go when Ryder grabbed a rebound and dribbled all the way down the court and laid the ball in the hoop as the final buzzer sounded, forcing the game into overtime. With 10 seconds left in overtime, Ryder hit a three-pointer, bringing the Pirates up 53-52. It was fun to write, Jimmy said. How's the rest of the paper coming? Not so great, I said. Ashley and Miguel seem more interested in fighting with each other than working on the paper, and I still need a lead story. We walked into school together just as someone screamed, Perry is missing! Everyone stood around the bird's empty cage. Miguel and Ashley were there with this kid named Chris. It breaks my heart to see Perry's empty cage, Ashley cried. Show Nani the picture, Chris. Chris is a grade lower than us, but I've noticed him before because he's always snapping pictures around school. Yesterday I took this photo of number 11 on Deerfield's basketball team, Chris said, handing me the photo. The bird is missing, and there's a large shape under the guy's jacket, about the size of a parrot. He stole Perry to get back at us for winning the game, Miguel shouted. We're going to run this photo on the front page, Ashley said. Number 11 will pay for what he did. He pointed at me. Steph, we need an article ASAP. I'll write the story, and Chris can be the newspaper photographer. I said, but we can't assume the guy's in culprit without evidence. This is our big story, Miguel protested. Deerfield steals Perry is our headline. After he and Ashley stormed off, I studied the photo and noticed the clock in the right-hand corner. It said 4:15, but the game didn't start until 4:30. Why would November 11 steal Perry before we won the game? I ran to find Eddie, the custodian who takes care of Perry, but Eddie was nowhere to be found. I couldn't avoid the sinking feeling that we were going to falsely accuse number 11. Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. Before school, I called Deerfield Elementary to interview number 11. Their school secretary wouldn't take a message for him, even though I told her I was a reporter for the Whitmore Weekly. I needed to talk to Eddie and found out when he last saw the parents, so my mom dropped me off eagerly at school. I yanked on the front door, locked, then turned and looked at a group of kids by the juice box machine. They were always huddled there with notebooks and some complicated board game. People called them the juice box kids. Why isn't the school open? I asked. They'll open the door in 5 minutes, one of the girls said. I'd never spoken to her or any of her friends before. I inched closer and peeked over her shoulder. Her notebook had a cute drawing of a dragon on it and her name, Sia, written across the bottom. Would you like to draw a cartoon for the school paper? I asked. Just then, Eddie unlocked the front door, and I brought it inside. Eddie, I cried, people think a Deerfield basketball player stole Perry. I need to know the truth. Follow me, Eddie said. He led me to Perry's cage. Perched in the middle was a plastic parrot. Perry's turned to plastic? Perry has retired, Eddie said. I took him to the vet on yesterday after school, and she said the bird's ready for some quieter days. We decided we won't have any more living mascot at Wheatmore. I'll let everyone know, I said, in the school paper. Eddie scratched his head. There's a school paper? Wednesday, 3 p.m. How's our front page story coming? Ashley asked. She held up Chris's story. Number 11 was circled in red with the word guilty scrawled over his head. Number 11 is not guilty. Perry retired. I said, Perry getting stolen in a better story, Ashley said. We have the proof right here in the picture, Miguel said. It's not proof if that it proves isn't true. I said, you don't want to libel these kids, do you? Miguel and Ashley stared at me until I felt my face turning red. I don't know, Miguel said at last. Is it fun? Thursday, 11:30 a.m. At lunch, Sia handed me her cartoon. Miguel turned it in his top 5 video games list, but he couldn't decide that what the top 5 games were, so he listed them as a tie. Ashley's column, with more tooth tips, was mostly a long-winded rant about how uncool it is to skip flossing. I spent the last 20 minutes of lunch editing it. Thursday, 3 a.m. After school, I read over my article one more time. Bye Bye Perry by Noni Lopez. We've all heard that familiar bye-bye echoing down the halls that seemed to say, please don't stick your fingers in my cage. Well, after 5 years as our school mascot, Perry had said his last bye-bye from now on. He'll be residing with Eddie, his custodian. I'm going to make sure Perry gets a restful retirement, Eddie said. The article went on to include quotes and found memories from a half-dozen students and teacher. When I'd finished proofing it, I braced myself and handed it over to Ashley and Miguel. To my amazement, they didn't explain about the photo not being on the cover. I think they just wanted to be done with the paper so they could go back to fixing up their desks. I put the paper together and gave it to Mr. Mann to print. I wasn't listed as editor or even co-manager on the masthead, but I knew how much work I'd done. Anyway, I just wanted to put together a good factual paper, and in the end, that's what it was. Friday, 3 a.m. This morning we handed out the paper and people seemed to really like it. Some kids even got inspired and wrote their own stories and cartoons to hang on Perry's old cage. After Sia read it, she winked and told me my paper was great. Ashley and Miguel took off the rest of the day, but I'm rounding up the newspaper contributors. We have to plan next week's issue.